Welcome to another edition of Our City. Just a couple of things going around the city of Elizabeth this week. On Friday, March 30th, please be advised that City Hall will be closed in observance of Good Friday. And on Monday, April 2nd at 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to kick off Senior Health Week at the Stephen Sampson Senior Center located at 800 Anna Street. And for all of those that are celebrating Easter on April 1st, from my family to yours, may you have a healthy and happy and a blessed holiday on Easter Sunday. If you need any more information, please call our public information office at 908-820-4124. And please stay with us after these messages, where I'm going to talk with Councilman-At-Large Frank Cuesta and the Elizabeth Promise Awards and all of his attempts to make it easier for some of our students to get to college.
Sometimes you learn by helping others learn. Kane University.
Welcome back to Our City, where I'm pleased to be joined by Councilman-At-Large Frank Cuesta. Councilman, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me again.
I know you've been on here before.
I have.
Yeah, so tell me, what's been going on with you since?
Several important things. I would say the most important thing is the fact that my second granddaughter was born 8 months ago, Chloe Eloise, and I am looking forward to seeing her next week.
Chloe Louise, she has an older sister named?
She has an older sister named Madison Olivia.
Yeah, so Madison, Olivia, and Chloe.
And Chloe, yes.
Yeah.
It's exciting to be a grandpa.
I know. Could you get to hold them and play with them?
Absolutely.
And give them back, right?
I'm going to spoil them.
Yeah, but then you get to give them back to the parents.
Yes,
Nice.
yeah, you do. You do.
Well, congratulations on the birth of your second granddaughter.
Thank you.
So you've been up to a lot personally, but also in your business career, you've been doing well with the Board of Education. Talk to us about some of the things that you've seen happen at the board that has really been a positive change.
Well, I'm really excited to have come out of retirement and work for the Board of Education at the present time. We have an incredible team of dedicated professionals, both at central office and throughout the schools. And a lot of good things are happening, a lot of the schools are improving, and we're working hard to ensure that every child receives the opportunity that he or she needs in order to become a successful citizen. And eventually our goal is that all those students either attend college or attend some kind of post-secondary education.
Now, last week I mentioned on the show the great effort that the Elizabeth High School students did in honoring those 17 people that were killed in Parkland. You were part of that organization. It worked really well.
Yes, it did. I am proud of our students in Elizabeth. They have the sensitivity and the knowledge of what's happening throughout the country, and they want to show their support and respect for others who unfortunately have suffered a tragedy.
So the Elizabeth Promise Awards are something that you started how many years ago now?
I started the program 12 years ago.
Tell us about what the Elizabeth Promise Awards are, first of all.
The Elizabeth Promise Awards is a nonprofit 501c3 organization whose mission is only to raise funds for deserving high school students who want to attend college or pursue some kind of career after high school. And I started that program in 2006 when I was the principal of Elizabeth High School Upper and Lower Academy.
And Councilman, one of the things that you've done is when you started this program, if you had 50 people, you had a lot, right? Now you've got, what, 700 people coming to dinner?
Absolutely. The other day I was reviewing some of the souvenir journals that we publish, and I came across one that only had like 7 or 8 pages. Last year, our journal had almost 100 pages, and I anticipate the same thing this year.
And Councilman, the purpose of the scholarship program is deserving students, and you meticulously go after them, right?
We absolutely do. We have a great relationship with the guidance counselors throughout the city, and we make sure that students who are doing well in school, who maintain at least a 3.0 GPA and really want to pursue studies beyond high school, that they get some support, because nowadays colleges are extremely expensive, and any kind of support that they receive really helps them with their plans to attend school.
And Council, how many scholarships will you give out this year?
Oh my goodness, this year we are up to 55 already, and I keep getting calls. So at some point I'm going to have to say, okay, this is the number that we can deal with, because last year the ceremony itself took several hours. But don't get me wrong, I enjoy every minute of it. And I will not turn down any donations. So what I'm asking people now is if they want to contribute more, to do so for the existing scholarships that we have, or to donate in order to cover some of the expenses that we have with a dinner, et cetera.
Have you kept track of how much money you've given out in 12 years?
In 12 years, we have given out more than $500,000.
In 12 years?
In 12 years.
More than $500,000
Correct.
to students. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm extremely proud of that.
A lot of these kids, without your help, may not have had the opportunity to bridge the problems financially.
Many of the students would have struggled more, and one of the things that makes me proud is the fact that several of the students, after they graduated themselves, have come back to Elizabeth, and now they become benefactors. Now they donate towards the program, and that's magnificent.
So there's a way of honoring the past and the present city residents through this program as well.
Yes, we for example, we have honor in the past. We have honor Anthony and Santina Canti, who were educators in Elizabeth. So we have a memorial scholarship named after them, supported by the Barrett family, who's still residing in Elizabeth. This year, I'm really proud with the fact that we're honoring you and we're honoring Dr. Farahi, president of Kane University, and that's really exciting. I mean, Dr. Farahi has been an educator for many, many years, and he's well respected and admired in the educational community, not only in Elizabeth, but throughout Union County and the state. So I'm really delighted that both you and he will be part of the event this year.
Well, I'm thrilled to be honored, and I thank you for asking with Dr. Farahi. I mean, he was a teacher of mine here at Kane University, and it was quantitative analysis or something I didn't understand quite then. I've gotten better at it, though.
I'm sure you have.
So the process of getting a scholarship, what do the young people, they have to show some initiative, correct?
They have to
what do they got to do? How do they do it?
They have to complete an application, which is 2 pages long. They have to write an essay and indicate why our committee should consider their application. And I have to emphasize the fact that, you know, I get the credit, but I really have a committee of men and women, former educators, either retired principals or teachers, or people who are personally still working, and they support this committee immensely. So it's not just Frank Cuesta; it's an entire group of dedicated people.
So where's the awards dinner held, and the time and the date? Tell us some of that information.
The awards dinner for the past 2 years, and this will be the 3rd year, will be held at the Renaissance Hotel in Elizabeth. And this year, the event will take place on Friday, May 4th.
And the recipients, you don't exactly know who's getting what yet.
Right now, I know a few students already have been selected, but the final determination will be made the first week in April. And by the second week, the students will be notified that they will receive a scholarship.
Now, Councilman, one of the things you do is some people will name a scholarship after a deceased family member or a corporation, and they want to be specific on the background of that scholarship too,
Correct.
right? And you work with them on that?
That's a good point. Some people, not only do they ask for a specific background, like, for example, this year we have 3 individuals who want to donate to a student who wants to go to medical school or study some form of medicine. We have benefactors who require a student from a particular country. For example, the Puerto Rican Alliance, every year, one of our biggest supporters, they donate to a student from Puerto Rico who's going to pursue education beyond high school. So yes, I work closely with those individuals, and I try to meet as much as I can their requests.
So besides the essay, are there any other qualifications, a minimum GPA or a minimum commitment in social hours to the community? What do you look for?
Yeah, we look forward for students who are doing well. We look for students who are recommended by either the teachers or guidance counselors. And we are always looking for students who believe in giving back to the community and who are actively participating, helping the community in one capacity or another. To us, that's important.
How much money did you raise last year?
Last year, we raised about $80,000.
And this year, you're expected?
This year, I'm expecting to raise a little bit more than that. So my goal is between 90 and 100,000.
So what would be some of the comments that you get from the students? I mean, I'm curious to know what do they say? I mean, what are the size? Some of the grants vary too, right?
Right. The grants vary. So far, the awards have ranged from $1,000 to $5,000. And the students use that money for the most part to pay tuition. but we are okay if they use it to buy books. And I remember this young lady several years ago who called me and said, Mr. Cuesta, I know you gave me a scholarship for me to go to school. I was able to get a substantial amount of money from the college. I really need this money for transportation. Would that be okay with you? And I said, absolutely. She was going to Seton Hall University at the time. She said, I don't have a car, I don't drive, I need it for transportation. I said, that's great. You're using the money towards pursuing your college education. That's fine with us.
Well, nice of her to call and ask, too.
Absolutely. Stephanie, I will always remember her. And I always appreciated the fact that she called me and asked me. And another interesting story I have to tell, there was a young lady that was selected, a brilliant student, and she called and she said, I appreciate it. I'm proud to receive this award. However, my parents make a lot of money. Please select a student that is more deserving, a student that does not have the kind of financial support that I already have. And again, that was really an incredible...
I wonder if she told her parents that phone call.
I believe she did. Yes, I believe she did.
They're probably like, hey, what are you doing?
What are you doing, giving money away? No, but I was really proud of those two students for...
So if any students come back, Frank, to help out in any way, shape, or form, or if any students on the committee or getting involved in any way?
That is one of the most rewarding things I can talk about. I have several students who come back and donate money and participate in the scholarship programs. As a matter of fact, I have a former recipient. His name is George, and George is part of the executive board. So now George helps me decide who's going to get awards. And he was a recipient in 2008.
And the people that come there, you don't just make a small deal of it, you make a big deal out of everybody. They all get introduced, right? And they all get a picture individually.
Absolutely.
Or whatever their group is and who's ever given them a scholarship.
I believe as a teacher, 40 years almost experience in the school system, I strongly believe in celebrating success. So for many of the students, the dinner that we give is the first time they're really in their lives that they come to a place like the Renaissance Hotel. And by the way, the committee pays for the students' dinners and their parents. And it's wonderful for them. It's a great experience. And I make sure they're introduced. I take pictures. I give them pictures whenever they request them, because I think it's important to celebrate the fact that they have done something right in their high school years. So
if people have any questions or they want to donate or purchase tickets, who do they call? How do they get in touch?
Well, people can call me at 908-578-3567. But we also have a website, ElizabethPromiseAwards.org, and they can go into the website and get further information as to how to donate to this program.
How did you come up with the name? It's catchy.
Well, the name it is catchy, and I'm going to give credit where credit is due. One of the teachers I worked with at School 23, Melissa España, she came up with that idea. She said, "These are kids from Elizabeth, and they are the promise for the future." So Elizabeth's Promise should be the name, and I ran with that name.
Yeah, it's pretty clever, actually.
It was pretty clever of her, I thought, yes.
So, Councilman, I want to thank you for taking time to join us on the show. I thank you for the honor of being the recipient of this year's testimonial, and especially along with Dr. Dawood Farahi. But more importantly, the work you do in $500,000 worth of scholarships over the last 12 years is really terrific.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate you having me, and I'm looking forward to celebrating your recognition as well as Dr. Farahi's on May 4th.
I want to thank Councilman-At-Large Frank Cuesta for talking with us about the Elizabeth Promise Awards and the scholarships that his organization is able to give to worthy students in our city. Please stay with us after these messages, where we will be joined by Miss Penny Meredith talking about women's history programs.
We're an American original, dependable, historic, nuanced, with all the comforts of home, even when you're just visiting. So we're celebrating for all that we've left untouched and all that we've changed. A place where the past meets the future. So consider this your invitation.
We've been celebrating here in Elizabeth for 350 years, and we're just getting started. Welcome back to our city. For the second half of the show, I'm pleased to be joined by Miss Penny Meredith. We're going to talk about Women's History Month seminars here in the City of Elizabeth. She's a program monitor for the City of Elizabeth's Health Department. Penny, welcome to the show.
Thank you, ma'am.
You've been here before, though, right?
I have.
Yeah, and your role at the Office of Public Health, tell us, education, what is it?
Yeah, so the Office of Public Health Education is a new initiative, as you know, to separate this, this department within within the health department. And what we do is provide education and information about all things related to public health to residents of the city of Elizabeth. We are something of an information clearinghouse. So there are people who call in who want to know statistics on birth rates, death rates, anything dealing with health. They can call our office and they get that information. And also residents that call us and they have, concerns. They don't understand something about lead poisoning. And then we can give them the information and tell them where to go to have their children tested. So it's really just educating the community about everything related to health.
So Penny, educating the community about issues on health, most people probably don't pay any mind to unless they're ill, right? I mean, sometimes.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of partnerships, and one of them is with Shaping Elizabeth, which is a coalition of agencies within the city that are partnering to increase the physical activity and the health of residents of the city of Elizabeth. So one of the things that we're working on is encouraging people to seek comprehensive care, other than just going to the emergency room, and to just be concerned about their health on a daily basis.
More people did that, you wouldn't have as many people in the emergency room either.
Exactly. Yeah.
What is the Women's Empowerment Series all about?
All right. So the Women's Empowerment, which is how we spelled it on our flyer
How
series.
do you empowerment?
Empowerment. We added an H to the word.
Clever.
Yes. So
I didn't see that flyer yet.
Oh, yes, great.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
So this series is workshops dedicated to women because it's Women's History Month, and really what we wanted to do is give information that would empower women, an opportunity for women to come together in the same space to share ideas. And it is a chew and chat seminar. So it takes place over the lunch hour on Friday afternoon. And women come in and we bring in a speaker that is knowledgeable in the subject area. And it's really just like an open dialogue. People get to send their questions to me in advance.
Well, that's probably a good thing, right?
Yeah. So that, there's some topics that people are embarrassed to ask. Right. So they send their questions to me. I share them with the presenter, and then they get the information, and then there's just an open dialogue. And
it's strictly women, though, too, right?
It is only for women.
Right.
Yeah. And then there are sponsors who've been providing lunch for the women to have.
So
during that hour.
What are some of the topics you cover?
So we have we cover financial literacy for women. Women's health.
So in the financial literacy area,
yeah.
Penny, is it geared to like their checkbook and things simple as that, or is it geared to more?
No, it's not the checkbook. It's really women make 80% of the purchases that are made in the United States every year.
Well, that happens in my house too.
Yeah, my husband agreed with that statistic as well. However, only 30% of women say that they understand finances and investment. So the numbers just don't work together.
That's because they're spending all the money.
Just
kidding, Penny.
We need to
and
learn about the money.
For all the women that are watching out there, I'm sure I'll get letters. I apologize for that, but that's something I should probably say to my wife in the house. But
Quite
I like
possibly.
that.
Yeah. So in the room when we shared that statistic, the women in the room had no idea.
No, I didn't either.
Right.
It's a very interesting stat.
And it's all spending: cars, houses, boats, everything. And so, women are not aware of what their spending power is and why it's important for them to know, to understand money.
So the financial issue is more complex than just figuring out how to do your checkbook.
Right. And it's also a matter of public health because money is one of the leading causes of stress. Stress is one of the leading causes of heart disease.
Keep going.
Heart disease is one of the leading causes of death.
Right.
So helping women to understand and better manage their money so that they feel secure financially is one way to avoid the stress and possibly less heart disease.
So another issue I have here is stress reduction.
Yes. The stress reduction workshop. You see how I got more relaxed when you said that?
I know.
The stress reduction workshop. Women live very busy lives. More women work today than ever before, and you have to still raise your family and cook dinner, so women feel like they're being stretched in so many directions, and it becomes a little bit stressful. So we have this workshop, and there's actually going to be a yogi there to show people how to do some chair yoga and some meditation techniques, and really just have a conversation.
Something they could do at home in between stuff, right?
Exactly.
They could do this.
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot of time to reduce your stress. Something as simple as like doing a Sudoku puzzle a couple times during the day. You can't think about yes. And it takes my mind off of everything. You can't think about anything but those numbers. So
no, they confuse me.
let it calm me.
Do you get them all done?
No, not usually.
Not usually.
But I spend a few minutes on it,
Okay.
you know, to take my mind off of whatever it is that might have been bothering me. Yeah.
So another issue they talk about is women's health.
Right. So we had a doctor who came in, and she was able to answer questions that the ladies had about, well, they had a lot of questions about what causes, you know, different situations that you end up in. You know, why am I so stressed? You know, and to learn things like, you know, there could be some hormonal imbalance, or that maybe it's something that you're eating. It was really interesting. It's a really interesting conversation to have with the doctor, and like sharing with her what people's questions were so that she would be prepared to answer them, and just a great dialogue between women and the doctor.
And one of the other topics I have here is sexual harassment. You deal with that issue as well with the women in this series.
Yes. So there's a lot being talked about in the media regarding sexual harassment and women's feelings of shame and just not feeling like they have power, you know. And it's so interesting because when the topic came up as something to discuss, we got a lot of that, that doesn't pertain to me. But there might be someone in your life who's dealing with this. And so you having information can maybe help someone else to stand up and to be supported.
So these topics and others, did I leave any out that you cover?
No, you did not.
So they're the topics that are most important at this stage.
Yes.
And so what activities is your office, what are they coming up for in the future?
Well, we are doing a series for men in June.
Oh, you are?
The Men's Empowerment Series is coming.
Like men aren't empowered enough?
Men's Empowerment Series is coming, Mayor.
Really?
We are equally supportive in the Office of Public Health Education and in the Health Department, so we want to share this with everybody. And there'll be similar topics and male speakers for those, like the women had all women speakers. And also what's coming up more like right away is Public Health Week, which is the first week in April.
Yeah, talk to us about Public Health Week.
Yeah, so Public Health Week is it's the first week in April, and it is something that was started by the Association for Public Health so that it was an opportunity to share information about things related to public health. It's not something that the community thinks about all the time, and so this is an opportunity to share that.
And Public Health Week goes back to what you said at the beginning of the show when you talked about education.
Yeah.
And more people getting involved in Public Health Week. What are some of the other activities that we're doing that week?
Okay, well, I don't want to miss anything, so I have a little note.
Because we have a lot.
Yeah, we do have a lot. So on Public Health Week is April 2nd through 10th. And on April 2nd, we have the Club Fit, which is an activity for our seniors, where someone comes out and works with them at the Stephen Sampson Center, and that's happening at 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then there are STD screenings at the Peterstown Community Center from 8:30 to 11:30 a.m. On Tuesday of that week, pediatric immunization clinic, also at the Peterstown Community Center through our public health nurses. And on Wednesday, we're doing a screening of the Caregivers documentary, which is called CARE. You know, we have this caregiver support group that supports people who provide care, and this is a documentary about those people. So we're screening that, and that's at the public library on Broad Street from 6 to 8:30. And then on Thursday, there's a health fair for employees at City Hall from 10 to 1. And then from the 7th to the 10th, on Saturday, there is a walk your pet along with the rabies clinic. So it's like a walkathon with pets, where people will be bringing their pets out to walk them, and that's at City Hall from 4 to 6. And then there's the Women's Wellness Brunch, which is an annual activity at the Gateway Family YMCA. And during that event, there are breakout workshops on nutrition, meal planning. There's a drum circle, which people really enjoy, which is great for stress.
And you're at all these events, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah. We are at all of these events. And then there's an Autism Awareness Pizza Party that takes place in the mayor's office at 5 p.m.
You have to pre-register for that, though.
Yes, you do have to pre-register. The Bridging the Gap basketball game, where our Office of Youth and some of the students play, and they play against like the fire department and some city council members, which is very interesting, fun to participate in.
You watch that?
I do.
Did you participate, or are you a watcher?
I've watched.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I would do as well.
I've watched. The director of the health department has coached one of the teams.
She did?
Yes. And then on Tuesday, our National Youth HIV and AIDS Poetry Awareness Slam at the Institute for Music, and that's taking place at 5:30. And then there's a restaurant meeting with the owners and managers where we'll be talking about issues of public health related to restaurants.
So how can residents access these services, first of all, and the ones that we have during the National Public Health Week, are they free?
Everything is free. You can register in advance for what's happening during National Public Health Week by calling the Office of Public Health at 908-820-4055.
The pizza party for autism children is clearly a registered event.
That is absolutely, it must be registered. For the other events,
because we want to know who's coming.
For the Autism Awareness Pizza Party, you must be registered to attend that event. And the other activities, it helps if you register so that we have an idea of who's going to be there, but you can just walk in.
So Penny, tell me about other services that may be available to residents besides what we do in National Public Health Week.
Sure. So there are immunizations that are provided at the Peterstown Community Center. Also, STD clinic, HIV testing, those things are happening weekly.
And STD among seniors is a hidden secret.
It is. And we actually have done workshops with seniors at some of the senior centers in the last year on STDs and prevention, because seniors feel like they're out of childbearing age, and so the need to use protection is sometimes a second thought for them. So one of Cheryl Abdul-Rahman has gone out and she does workshops with seniors on that particular topic.
And Penny, how do people get more information about Public Health Week?
They can call our office at 908-820-4055 or 820-4060.
So Penny, what's the most rewarding part you do in this job? What do you get the kick out of the most?
What I enjoy the most is probably sharing information with people. You know, telling somebody something that they don't know that could really possibly change their life.
And that's probably the most important thing that you could ever do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Penny, I want to thank you for taking the time to join us on the show
and
talking about National Public Health Week and all the work that you do with many of our senior populations. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to thank Ms. Penny Meredith for joining me on the show talking about National Public Health Week as well as Women's History Month and the programs that we have for women coming up during the month of March. And I also want to thank Councilman Frank Cuesta for all of his efforts in the Elizabeth Promise Awards that has given out over $500,000 in scholarships over the last 12 years to students here in the city of Elizabeth. I'm Mayor Chris Bolwage, and we'll see you next week on another edition of Our City.
Offering everything you could want from college, including a life. Kane University.